Just saying why we picked level design over sort of art or programming. For me, it was similar to Josh, that wasn't very good at art, wasn't very good at programming, so I did design as a backup plan. But the best thing is sort of, now I've got a job doing level design, is that you get to take everything the artists do, everything the programmers do, and you're the one sort of putting it together, and that is sort of, you do get a lot of creative freedom with that. You are sort of at the helm of a lot of things. That's very, very good.
It's nice. Like I think Jonny said before, you get the credit for everyone else's work.
Yeah.
So that helps. And yeah, the last one, we weren't too good at anything else.
Yeah.
So we played that.
It's a nice spotlight.
I don't ring the bell.
So yeah, after when I went into my final year project, I knew I was going to make a level in UDK, but I wanted to do something different for my portfolio at the end. So I know first years we're learning Construct 2, and I hadn't learned it, but I wanted to learn something new. So I'd start to learn Construct 2, so I had something visually different for my portfolio. So going into that, I knew I had a bit of variation. I don't know if that benefited me in the end, because it was my UDK work that got me noticed. So, but it was just nice to pick up something new and kind of run with it. So,
yeah. For my last year, because again, like we were focusing on design for the whole thing, I wanted to do a bit of games design. So what I ended up doing for the degree show was I made 2 games in GDD. Yeah. You did something similar.
I did two games and a Harry Potter ride.
And wow, impressive. Yeah, so sort of similar stuff. So it was cool to sort of do a whole project just on one subject you got to pick. So when we picked sort of level design games, well, it was interesting to have to come up with enough content to make an entire project out of that. We'll talk about planning later.
Yeah,
it's a presentation.
The reason I chose to use UDK was because I followed all of these tutorials on World of Level Design, and that's just what we used. But then again, I did choose to go and learn Construct 2 for my own benefit, and I did enjoy it. And I think Construct 2 is a great engine. And visually, my art, I guess, wasn't good. So if you're visually good at art, I think that will help more with Construct 2. Whereas UDK, I think you can throw post-process or even through fix things.
And blue for everything.
Yeah.
I used Unity instead of UDK. I think everyone here uses Real4 and UDK. I'd never used anything like UDK before. I used a bit of Unity before I went onto the degree, so I just kind of stuck with that. And it was interesting, the work that me and Josh did. They're quite different, quite in the way they came about. I wanted to focus a lot more on game design, so I needed Unity because it gave me that sort of programming freedom. I used a bit of C#, things like that. Whereas I don't think I could have done the same thing in UDK. Whereas vice versa, a first-person level design wouldn't have worked as well in Unity as it would in UDK. So there was a bit of planning that needed to be done before we started to pick the right engine. Just depends on what sort of you're trying to produce, I guess. Although Unreal 4 now is quite versatile. So
yeah, Unreal 4 is crazy cool.
Sort of everything.
And yeah, it does, like I said, I had in mind what I wanted in my portfolio. I didn't just want UDK stuff. I wanted something broader. So that's why I did Construct 2, did UDK. And I tried to show off some of my 3D models that I thought were good. So I kind of going into work, I thought I can kind of show off all areas of what I can do. So, but yeah, it was my level that got me the job.
Yeah. Sort of all the work you do in your third year, when you finish uni, that's all you've got.
Yeah. So
that has to be your portfolio work. So you've got to make sure that it is good and it is sort of presentable and stuff. So if you sort of enter the third year with the mind that this is portfolio work, this is sort of production quality and professional quality, that will be more efficient. I think that'll be better for you to take it professionally.
This is my level, heliophobia, which is the fear of sunlight, if anyone asks. And when I started this level, I wanted to have like 5 levels that all linked to a hub. That all changed, even though I did plan. Everyone should plan. But, oh, you got my video there. So yeah, this is my level, and it was first person, and I wanted to make puzzle games that went round the fear of sunlight, so you had to avoid sun. It was set in an asylum, and like my last level that I did was set in a jail, so maybe I like dark places. But
I go watching so much walking back.
that was the jail level, yeah. I was watching
it's easy to like dark too.
Yeah, indoor lighting's easy, outdoor lighting's hard.
And you 3D model everything there.
Yeah, 3D model everything in this level, so I did want to make my own assets and textures and stuff. But when I was coming up with it, I wanted to create different mechanics using Kismet. I don't want to choose a stock thing, so I don't think I show off any of them in this video, to be honest. But you could like lift up some stuff when you picked up certain powers. You could go super fast, and you had to avoid the sunlight again to to get through the levels. But yeah, that was my level. Looking back on it, it's not that easy. Right, there you go, we'll play yours, Jonny.
Yeah.
Sound
Put it
want audio.
for Jonny to watch audio.
We don't have to put it.
Yeah, I'll put
Do
it.
yeah, this is what I did for my honours project in the third year. Again, I wanted to do sort of games design, so I didn't really want to do a first person. If I was to do it again, I probably would have done. But I used Unity to make this sort of concept for a touchscreen mobile game. The idea, as the video will show, was based around. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk over that?
Yeah. Yeah, the sort of concept was you were trapped on a train, kind of like the film Speed, if I remember that. And your sort of arch nemesis has planted bombs on the train. And you were supposed to be using, imagine if it was on a mobile sort of touchscreen. You were using the touch control to defuse the bombs and do puzzles and things like that. It's called rabbit and stuff. Yeah, that concept. Yeah, this was sort of a cool way that I could do a bit of game design and make something a bit different as well. Level design, I guess, was sort of in the puzzle design of the bombs and things like that. Yeah, I made all the art assets for it, did all the coding and stuff. It's quite nice to be able to, because I'm not particularly a strong artist, but if you sort of have rudimentary art skills, you can model with that, you can sort of put together a prototype. And if you're going into design, having those skills is quite important, because you can make sort of little simple things like this. To sort of get ideas for bigger projects and stuff. Who knows, man? It's a twist. You have to play the game. Yeah, amazing. Back to the top.
Mate, what the hell? That one.
Oh no!
Behind the scenes.
Oh.
So yeah, going into the, looking at our
That YouTube
looking back on our first year projects now, like what would we have changed, and like definitely now, make sure you keep a plan of everything you did, because someone somewhere will look at it and it's good just to get your stuff out there and people noticing it. You definitely have Twitter or something and just start talking to people, because like it's definitely going that way. Make sure you have Tumblr, make sure you're talking about things, make sure you're just showing your work, showing your progress. Yeah, but definitely plan your work. If you don't plan your work, you will fail. I'm going to say that because it's like
Brutal.
yeah, but I don't know if that's too brutal. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to kind of snowball and it's going to get worse. And in the end, you're going to have something that is not what you wanted at the end of your degree, and it won't show you off as what you want to be shown off as.
Sort of in Futureworks, the way the sort of motivation of everyone went in the class was that everyone did the sort of planning documents. Everyone was like, this is what I'm going to do, this is how long it's going to take. For the first month, everyone was working really hard, did loads of work. Sort of teetered off as the sort of year went on. It's similar for you. Sort of halfway through the year, people sort of lost their focus and things like that. You make the planning document in the first week, and then you'll never read it again. I did that. That was a horrible mistake to make. You should keep reading it every week. Have a contingency plan as well, because it will definitely go wrong. You'll make a plan in the first month, and then by the last month, nothing will be the same. Everything will change. And that's okay that you don't stick to the plan as long as you're sort of making changes to it, making amendments to it. Because it just gives you an idea of how much you need to do to finish, and that's important because you kind of lose sight of that as you go through it. So make a plan at the start, don't stick to it, but have a contingency plan. It's probably good advice, I think.
But keep it simple. It's, like I said before, I wanted to have like 5 levels that all link to a hub. And in the end, I got like 1 level that I feel worked well and worked better than what I wanted at the beginning. So definitely keep it simple. And then if you hit that, you can extend on it. So
yeah, I wanted to put aim low instead of keep it simple, but Josh told me to take that out. What I kind of meant by that though was sort of what Josh said, whereas for my honours project I wanted 3 levels across different sort of environments, things like that, and ended up with 1 that barely worked. So aim low, but that doesn't mean underachieve, it just means be realistic in what you can achieve. So start with 1 level, and if you have time to make extra, go from there, sort of thing.
we put the end goal, everyone knows like, oh yeah, that's easy, but not everyone does have an end
Yeah,
goal.
my end goal was to sort of make a game, which is really generic and not helpful at all. So sort of, if you're sort of bullet point what you want to achieve or whatever, what you want to make, things like that. at the start, it'll just give you some focus in the future, so you know where you're going and stuff. Yeah.
Things that helped me along the way is I pestered every lecturer that I could get hold of constantly, making sure my work was on track. And if you don't talk to them, that's your downfall, because they're there to be talked to. Talk to them as much as you can. And you've got everyone around you that all play games, that all like games. So if you're doing level design, get them to play your game. If you're doing art, get everyone to look at your art. Everyone's feedback matters. So
yeah, that's why the top two are sort of really important, because when you leave uni and you don't have this sort of environment anymore, these are the only two things you've got to sort of communicate with the outside world, talk to other people. So there's no reason not to start now in your third year, to start
or your second year.
Or your second year, whatever year you're keep a blog of your work and stuff. It's good for yourself as well, so you can see yourself progress. I quite enjoyed that. I could look at my first year work and see how terrible it was.
Yeah,
my
I'm
third
sure
year
you
work.
made a blog.
Yeah, I kept a blog all the way through Futureworks and stuff. And it's good when you sort of get Twitters. I don't really like using Twitter, but it is very important for sort of networking and stuff. So just use it professionally, throw your work up there. Sort of that can be your sort of design, art, programming, face or whatever.
It also helps with your portfolio. People look at your blog and see, oh, you've done this then. It's not just done this to try and get this job. Which did this course help us? Short answer is yes.
That's a good job. Long answer.
But other things will contribute to this. So if you just go into this thinking, oh, I'm on a game design course, I'm going to get a job after it, make sure you put in the work. Because that's what matters really. Like, yeah, portfolio. Have a good portfolio, but make sure it's professionally shown off. And again, talk to the lecturers. They know what looks good within the industry. So
yeah, it's quite interesting that one. That sort of you can tell the difference between student work and professional work. Usually, it's not the work itself that is what's so different. It's just the way it's presented on the internet. I think the next slide is talking about websites and stuff. Is it?
there is a big difference.
Yes.
That's what you just said.
It is what it is. So sort of when you start making websites and portfolio websites and stuff, the way you put it up there, just try and keep in mind that the person looking at that website might give you a job, might be interested in hiring you and giving you money or something. So you've got to make sure that everything on there is sort of crisp and clean and easy to understand and stuff. Your best work and stuff like that. Which is kind of hard to not see when you're in a student environment, if that makes sense. But when you leave uni, and that's the only sort of lifeline you've got to make sure that that's up to scratch. So if you think about it now, it's pretty useful.
Yeah, rather than too late.
Rather than after uni, which is what me and Josh did.
Yeah.
And in work, we were frantically like, oh no, these websites are terrible. We need to make them better.
Do work in your spare time. I'm assuming most people do that because I think everyone enjoys what they do. So, and yeah, make sure your website is good and professional. I think everyone does a website now, do you, Rhoda?
Yeah,
So,
we've,
okay.
everybody else in the futures, so if any second years haven't started, we'll be doing it next year in futures as well.
Don't really need to talk about website. Oh, yeah, choose a specialisation, go to university kind of thing. So like, I know going into third year, you'll choose 3D, you'll choose level design, you'll choose concept art. Character art. But make sure you stick to it. You don't want to try and be average at everything. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. Make sure you've got this one, what you're passionate about, what you want to do, and what you can show off well.
It's quite an interesting one because when I was doing the third year, I sort of picked design, and design's quite broad. There's level design within that. Environment art technically kind of falls in the same category, and then games design, which is the whole sort of other remit of it. So I came out of uni like, oh, I'm games designer, anything design related I could do. Whereas the job we're going for is level design. So I'm sort of saying, well, I could make these really great mechanics, but they want to pay me to make levels. So if I'm not just showing you the levels I can do, it was difficult, I thought, in the interview that for the job that we did end up getting, I could have tailored my portfolio much more towards level design, as opposed to just being sort of broad, I'm a designer, I can do anything design related. So you'll pick specializations in uni obviously, but when you leave, you sort of need to keep that as well. That needs to be your portfolio. If you're a level designer, you're going for level design jobs.
We're not saying don't do anything other than level design,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, you can tailor. Yeah, you can tailor depending on the interviews you go for and stuff as well. You can change your portfolio on the fly. Like if you go for an environment art position, just make sure you're showing people environment art. And if you go for a level design role, make sure you're showing level design and not additional things like game mechanic design, which they don't want to hear about what you do. So.
What we do now, we do what we did at university. So make sure you enjoy it. We get paid for doing what we enjoy, which is what you guys should be doing now, I assume. So yeah, like if you don't enjoy it, just make sure, going into third year, make sure you pick something that you enjoy. There's no point picking, like, I don't know, 3D if you hate all aspects of it.
It is strange as well, like, that we are doing exactly what we did in university. Like, it was weird to sort of say that. But then now we're at work and we're sort of doing it every day, 9 to 5. It's very strange. You do sort of feel it a little bit more when it's, alright, 10 to 6. 11 to 7. Yeah.
We are learning UE4, so that is what we're currently doing. We moved from UDK to UE4, so that's been quite big for the company because it's such a move forward, but it's taking time to get there, and being able to learn whilst at the company, but having not pressure, but making sure that you're actually creating something as you're learning, I guess has been interesting and fun. Yes. And UE4 is really, really good.
Yeah, just sort of knowing the engine as well, like, for no matter what role you want in the industry, if you know an engine, sort of inside and out, you're going to find work, you're going to be able to sort of be efficient on a team and things like that. So we kind of have one guy in the office who is sort of UDK, sort of maestro, knows everything about it. So we kind of run through him a lot of the things that we need to know for UE4, but every day we're learning things outside of our specialism, which just helps work better as a team and things like that. Like, we're sort of liaising with the artists all the time, aren't we? Like,
that's different. Like,
it's usually like Jamie, one of the 3D artists at the office, never puts collision on it, which is a nightmare when you're trying to do level design.
You just put something in and like, I'm going to walk across that and then you just fall through. It's like,
and it's really weird, so it's sort of just like quirks of the engine or whatever, and learning that sort of thing, and learning how to sort of work better as a team and things like that. I think is important. It's been new for us, I guess, since we started working. That's kind of thing.
It's been cool though. Just like, I can ask for an asset, it's what makes it me. It's like, I can throw that in, I can create this. We've been learning blueprints. Our people in New York, so I created a construct blueprint of a cargo container, so you can just drag it in and drop, and you can change ladders on the fly, doors on the fly. So it's just an easier way to make myself and other level designers' job easier, I guess. So you can just throw anything in. So that's like stuff that we've been learning. But we've also been learning like the game blueprints.
It's been really cool because, like, obviously in UDK or whatever, if you're doing level scripting, you're doing it all in Kismet, and you don't really get to touch any of the programming side of things, whatever. But Phil, the coder at PixelBomb, does a lot of the coding and blueprints now. He does most of it sort of C++ or whatever, hard code and stuff. But things that you can make in blueprints, they'll sort of throw our way and we can look at, and it's a bit more flexible in what you can do with it. So we end up using blueprints for level scripting, but you'll also use it for construction script kind of things. But you'll also use it for like mechanic-based things, like all of the AI characters in the game are blueprint classes, so you can sort of switch things out and test things a lot easier. So it's been interesting how closely we can work with programmers now and coders, just by having a rudimentary understanding of blueprints. Lets you sort of get your finger in much more pies, I guess is a good explanation.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe. We'll say yeah.
Level construction, so like I said before, we just get everyone asset, we have a plan out the level, and then someone gives us the assets and we create this area that is playable. So that's fun. Just being able to know that it's my area that people can play in. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. People playing in my area. That's what we do.
Moving on.
Lighting levels.
That's like a fun one.
Yeah, like in the UE4, I absolutely hate it. Current standards because everything's changed. So lighting is interesting. So I think if you're definitely going to do 3D and environment art, make sure you're very good at lighting. I think it's just a good thing to have in your pocket.
That's like a whole extra thing that I never even considered in uni as well. Like when I was doing levels or whatever in uni, throw a light in, done, it's lit. I can see what I'm doing, it's fine. But then when you're doing sort of production level lighting, everything's got to look great. It's a whole other thing. It's like it's taken us weeks just to get lighting down. Whereas in university, I do it in a day and then call it done. If you know what I mean. But doing it as a job professionally, it's a whole other skill set that you've got to learn and sort of get used to and stuff. So it's something to consider now because it is such a big part of the design environment art of the level. Something I didn't consider when I was uni. And also UE4 is quite different to UDK. So if you're used to doing lighting in UDK, it is quite different to UE4. As Josh will tell you.
Yeah. And networking, we've been to a couple of events, we socialise, we talk to people, use Twitter. People will use your Twitter eventually at some point. And it's just nice to talk to people in the industry that have the same passion about what we do. and have a different take on it, or have different views, which is the same thing. But yeah, it's fun. Yeah. And yeah, like we just get to go to events, talk about our game.
People think we know what we're talking about because we're there.
Yeah.
Which is weird. We met loads of students as well. People would just come ask us and sort of get advice and that. So even, you know what I mean, go to these events with business cards and stuff and just chat to people and just get
I had someone from Southampton University who came to talk to me, and like I told him that I graduated from uni like last year, so he really wanted to know everything that I got. So then he like added me on LinkedIn, and I started talking to him and stuff. So just try and get as many contacts as you can now. It's not as if now is just as good a time as later to start talking to people. So next one. Is it?
That's the last one.
I think it's. No, it's not. This is what we're doing now. This is UE4 that you can't see the screen now.
Yeah, this is stuff.
This is my level in UE4, and this is Seb's level for a level designer. So because the game is based in Manchester, this is Dean's Gate. In 200 years. Say that. This is a construction site in 200 years. Yeah. So we can't really show you much.
Yeah, this is all UE4 stuff. Like we've been there since August, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we worked sort of up till Christmas in UDK, and then we've made the jump to UE4 sort of after Christmas. So all this stuff has been done in the last sort of 2-3 months or whatever. So these are the sort of the first levels we're coming out with in UE4. I think a lot will probably change, but the art style's looking okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Visually nicer.
Yeah.
No, we should have done. Oh, that's great. I created blueprints so it moves. There we go. And any questions? We've put our emails and our Twitters. If anyone wants to talk to us after this, you can.
That's me and Josh. And then if any artists want to ask someone from the office, any questions with me? Phil. He's pretty sweet. So.
He offered to put his email. We've not put it there and hope everyone emailing. So yeah. Have you got any questions that we haven't already answered, or made you panic about? Accidentally.
When you go for a job, how did the interview go?
Oh, right, yeah.
You can go first. Questions. That's why I got this slide.
When I went for my job, I took the interview itself. They gave us an art test, so I had to create a level design document for just. They gave me a list of instructions, not instructions. Anyway, they told me what I had to create, and I created it, and I sent it off. And then when they came to my interview, I just took that with me and talked about it, and pointed out why I did this, why I did that, what mechanics I used, where and why, and then just talk to them like about the game industry because they are interested in it. Like I think most of my interview I spoke about The Last of Us because they enjoyed The Last of Us. I played The Last of Us. That's like yeah.
What was in your level design document? Was it SketchUp or what?
It was SketchUp because you told me to use SketchUp. And it was just, do you still do level design? Yeah, it's just, if you've learned level design at Uclan, that's basically what I taught. If you, like, I think one I'm not doing in 7 months. Yeah, just talk about your level, why you're going to go through it, bullet point out what happens where, clearly, there's no point doing a SketchUp view if you can't tell what's happening where. I think you could probably do them just as quick in UE4 nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say just do it. If you're doing like we got design tests for the levels, just do it in UE4 in Engine, or SketchUp as well. But as long as you're building something that can be visually seen rather than relying on text to sort of display it. That was kind of one of the reasons we did okay in the interview because we had sort of not necessarily an art pipeline, but we've made a thing like a prototype, visual prototype of the level 3D, rather than just saying okay, cool stuff happens there. Because if they're hiring you to do that as a job, that you want to sort of hit the ground running. So as long as you can show you can do, not necessarily 3D art from scratch or whatever, but as long as you can place assets and
yeah.
things like that. So.
Because I think our job, we don't need to make 3D assets, we need to make an area that can play. That area then is taken away to the 3D artists and then make things fit for us.
Yeah. The main thing we just sort of spoke about in the interview was sort of play space and things like that. So as long as you show you've understood the mechanics and represent that in the level sort of layout and stuff, and talk about that as well, then that's what you need.
Just be yourself as well, and ask them, like, I don't know, I asked them if we went to the pub a lot. Don't drink.
I think that went down well. Yeah. Because it is a 9 to 5, isn't it? So as long as you're sort of quite chatty and quite sociable and stuff, just got to be friendly and sort of nice and stuff. As long as you can show you know what you're talking about, and just be confident as well. As long as you can sort of speak a big game.
If you've got to the interview, you've got to work to back it up, so
Yeah.
you've definitely got to be confident about your work. Any more? Just got the one question. Come on.
How did you, Josh, when you finished your degree show, what happened next? Because there is that whole thing of you've done your exams,
I think I
you've
slept
got your
through
degree, and you're like, oh, brother, what am I going to do?
As soon as I finished my honours, I had my website looking okay, but then I finished my website because I knew it was important, and then I just started applying everywhere. So I applied to as many places as I could. So I didn't stop. I just applied for jobs because if you stop, someone else is going to be applying for jobs. So,
How many places did you apply to?
I think because I wanted to stay in the northwest. I was being a bit like, there's a job in the northwest. So I think I applied to like 5 places, and then I applied to PixelBomb, and then an hour later, they offered me a test, an art test, on the test, and then so and then that was that really.
Did you apply for, every place you applied to, were they advertising jobs, or did you just put your CV in? Or?
I applied for TT, and they weren't advertising jobs, and then I eventually heard back. So like even though you've applied, and they don't get back to you, they might get back to you in say 4 months. They got back to me in 4 months, offered me an interview, but I was already in. So just apply to as many places as you can. If they're not saying we have a job, at least you can talk to people there. People will listen. Like I think I was speaking to Georgina. Yeah, Georgina. Sorry, Georgina at TT, and just talking to her about what she does. Just made a contact in the games industry.
And how did you make contact with Georgina? Was that through the degree show?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I got her email at the degree show, and then just started emailing her straight away, because that's the thing, I guess. Don't know about you. How did you?
Yeah, it's a similar thing. I didn't really apply for that many places because when I finished uni, I sort of only knew about TT up north or whatever. So I kind of applied there. Did 2 weeks of QA there. Found PixelBomb, applied there. Obviously got that job. But one of the things we put on the slide was about network and stuff. Going to those events has showed me how many studios are actually in the northwest, actually in Manchester. Yeah, there's loads more than I ever thought when I was in uni and stuff. Because obviously when you're going on the internet applying for jobs and things like that, you're kind of only looking at AAA studios, you're kind of only looking at sort of bigger companies, which obviously there's fewer of. But as you go towards more of the indie sort of scale of things, there's so many sort of small startups and app development and things like that. So that was quite encouraging, but I only realised that after uni. So
I think that was definitely a good time to get to the industry. There's so much growing and stuff.
It was nice when we went to Rest, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was. We met so many people who were from, like we said, from Birmingham, people from Birmingham, sort of close proximity to, you could feasibly get to and work, which is nice. A couple of studios from Manchester, a couple of places from around there,
So, a few things I want to know. First of all, really good talk by these guys, so give them a round. With that, they pretty much just a few years from where you are now, so it kind of gives you a good place to aim for. These guys have graduated, they've been successful, so anything that you guys can do to follow in that path would be really great. A few things to highlight would be that these guys are talking about networking. Tickets for EGX Res just went on sale yesterday, and that's on the 27th of September. 27th of September, I think, because we just did that last year. We again might take a few students down, but early bird prices are available, and it's pretty inexpensive, right?
It is worth it. It might be a cost, but not an extreme cost, but it's definitely worth it just to start talking to people.
Yeah, and the amount of small studios that are down there is just incredible. Everyone will be showing the games, so just get networking, trying to attend those events. Develop Conference in summer is a good one. And as well, you've got their emails. You might keep in touch, and you'll see on their Twitter, oh, we're going to Develop Conf to show our game, and then you can go down and check out their game, and there'll be a bunch of other independent studios around there as well. So keeping an eye open for them, because like Jonny said, you go online and you start to type in for jobs, everyone will be getting those results, and everyone graduating in the country will be seeing those jobs. Whereas if you're attending events and chatting to developers, that's a one-on-one connection with that studio, which instantly raises you above them. Another thing that's very interesting, and we've can't remember if we've done it to all the years here, but talking about job roles is an interesting one. And knowing what types of studios you're applying at would also dictate the job role. PixelBomb and White Paper are similar size, both in Manchester. However, mine and Josh and Jonny's jobs are all completely different. So these guys handle lighting in the level, whereas I would never handle that. OJ, the artist, would handle that. These guys do construction scripts and blueprints, whereas I'd pass that off to OJ as well. However, their environment artists probably do things that all designers do. The job roles change vastly, don't they? And so keeping so my basic point there is look at what the studios are doing, and like Josh said, he was chatting to someone at TT and finding out about their job role. If you know what they're doing day to day, just because you're a level designer or a 3D artist doesn't necessarily mean that all 3D artists in the country are doing the exact same things. So keeping an eye out for that kind of stuff is really important.
Because Seb at work we worked with was a level designer at TT, and him coming into PixelBomb, sort of lighting, doing lighting, things like that, is all totally new to. Even a lot of the art passes, he never used to do at TT, because they had such a big team. He would do the block out, pass it off to an artist, an environment artist, who would then just go over it and make it look nice. So it's been interesting for him, I think, to come to a smaller studio, and you sort of get more responsibility. And like Pete was saying, the roles sort of differ, and depending on skill sets and stuff. So it's quite interesting. Even though we're all doing design, we all sort of do different things day to day.
And also, I found an interesting point. I think it was you that said it, Jonny. Yeah, really good point that Jonny just made. Had a level design document, but then he's not made one for 7 months.
That was me.
All right, that was a really good point. He made a level design document, not made one for months. I have to admit myself, I don't necessarily make level design documents either. But that's because we're in a team of 5 to 7 to 10 people. As soon as you go into a bigger company, you'll be making level design documents every day. So that definitely depends on your workflow as well. So level design documents are hugely important, especially communication, which you guys didn't touch upon too much, but communication in teams is the biggest thing. Communication can break down with 5 people, let alone 100 people. So making sure you're documenting your work, like Jonny said, having a plan of your work, setting everything out, keeping updates, making sure everyone's aware of what you're doing. They're really important skills, and if you can communicate them to a studio. Like Josh said, the work's got you in the door. You should be proud of that work. You've got an interview. Now you've got to show who you are as fitting in with their team. So there's a few points I wanted to highlight. Closing comments? No. Well, anyway, these guys are staying around all day. They'll be helping second years out with planning their stuff for next year. They'll be in the third year area helping people with game proposal stuff. Is it game proposal or on this or? Yeah, game proposal stuff. So they'll be around all day. Anyone that wants to ask some questions, it doesn't necessarily have to be design related. It can be getting jobs in studios, it can be networking, it can even be 3D stuff, which they'll probably know about because they're in a studio with 3D artists. And if not, they'll be able to put you in contact with the people that do know the answer to the question. So all about getting contacts, like they said, networking, and you've just got 2 new contacts in the industry right now that you can keep in touch with. 3, sorry. So it's all about getting those communications, because you never know, you might look at PixelBomb's website and just think, you know what, I want to work there, it's like such a fun studio, I want to apply, and you go through these guys together. So they'll be around all day. Let's just give them another round of applause. Go and grab a quick break.